वसुदेवसुतं देवं
देवं
कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवके परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् आदौ देवकी देवगर्भजननं गोपीगृहे वर्धनं मायापूतना जीवतापहरणं गोवर्धनो धारणं कंसाधी छेदनं कौरवादि हननं कुन्ती सुता पालनम् एतत् श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणकथितं श्रीकृष्णलीलामृतं श्रीभगवान् उवाच अहमेवासमेवाग्रे नान्यद्यत् सदसत्परं पश्चादहं यदेतच्च यो वशिष्येत सोऽस्म्यहम् ऋतेऽर्थं यत् प्रतीयेत न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यात्मनो मायां यथा भासो यथा तमः यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु च वचेष्वनु प्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम् एतावदेव जिज्ञास्यं तत्त्वजिज्ञासुनात्मनः अन्वयव्यक्तिरेकाभ्यां यत्स्यात् सर्वत्र सर्वदा करारविन्दे न पदारविन्दं मुखारविन्दे विनिवेशयन्तं वटस्य पत्रस्य पुटे शयानं बालं मुकुन्दं मनसा स्मरामि श्रीकृष्णगोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव जिह्वे पिबस्वा मृतमे तदेव गोविन्ददामो दरमाधवेति विक्रेतु कामा किल गोपकन्या मुरारिपादार्पितचित्तवृत्तिः दध्यादिकं मोहवशादवोचद् गोविन्ददामो दरमाधवेति गृहे गृहे गोपवधू कदम्बाः सर्वे मिलित्वा समवाप्ययोगम् पुण्यानि नाम निपठन्ति नित्यं गोविन्ददामो दरमाधवेति सुखं शयानं निलये निजेऽपि नामानि विष्णोः प्रवदन्ति मर्त्याः ते निश्चितं तन्मयतां व्रजन्ति गोविन्ददामो दरमाधवेति जिह्वे सदैवं भज सुन्दराणि नामानि कृष्णस्य मनोहराणि समस्तभक्तार्तिविनाशनानि गोविन्ददामो दरमाधवेति सुखावसाने इदमेव सारं दुःखावसाने इदमेव ज्ञेयं देहावसाने इदमेव जाप्यं गोविन्ददामो दरमाधवेति श्रीकृष्णराधा वरगोकुलेश गोपाळ गोवर्धननाथ विष्णो जिह्वे पिबस्वा मृतमे तदेव गोविन्ददामो दरमाधवेति जन्मान्ध्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादि तरतश्चार्थेष्वभिघ्न स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति सूरयः तेजो वारि मृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि सत्यं परं धीमहि सत्यं परं धीमहि. Right. So we started Canto 6 and we started chapter 1. Okay. We were discussing that King Parikshit is asking to Shukdev ji that in spite of knowing the fact that Pap is a great enemy of us, of human, and still he commits Pap sin again and again, again and again. So what's the point? I have quoted so many times the Duryodhan. Okay? What Duryodhan says that Janami dharman nachame pravrittihi najanami adharman nachame nivrittihi. Oh God, I know what is dharma, but I cannot choose that path, or I cannot practice that righteous path or the dharma. Janami adharman nachame nivrittihi. I know that what is not right, but I cannot withdraw myself from that. So here Parikshit asked a little differently. He said, keep on committing pap again and again, and then he still wants to do that prayashchit, atonement. Okay? So he commits the pap and do the prayashchit. It's mere, has no meaning. It's like a hasti snan. There's a term in Vedantic word, hasti snan. Hasti snan means the elephant goes to river, take bath, and put that mud or the dust again on the body. So what's the point? That we were discussing, right? Okay. Now you start writing. Okay. You will be writing verse 10. For some time, men may abstain from sin, comma. For some time, man may abstain from sin, comma, but a little later, comma, but a little later, comma, he indulges in it. He indulges in it in spite of expiation. In spite of expiations. Expiations, expiations. In spite of expiations. Full stop. I therefore feel that expiations are useless, comma, are useless, comma, like bathing and cleaning an elephant whose habit it is to spray dust on its back always. Dust on its back always. That was verse 10. Please check once again. For some time men may abstain from sin, comma, but a little later, comma, he indulges in it in spite of expiations, comma, in spite of expiations, full stop. I therefore feel that expiations are useless, comma, like bathing and cleaning an elephant whose habit it is to spray dust on its back always. Now you'll be writing verse 11. Sri Shukaji said, avidya, in bracket ignorance, avidya, 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 in bracket ignorance, is the ultimate source of all karma. Is the ultimate source of all karma. Comma, including expiations. Full stop. Expiations can therefore wash off only the effects of particular sinful acts. Only the effects of particular sinful acts, comma. But not the tendency to commit them, comma, so long as ignorance, comma, their sources, comma, persists, full stop. persists, full stop. Write in bracket, bracket starts, this can be ultimately effaced, E-double-F-A-C-E-D, ultimately effaced only by the knowledge of God. Only by the knowledge of God. Full stop. Bracket over. Please check verse 11 again. Avidya, ignorance, is the ultimate source of all karma, comma, including expiations. Full stop. Expiations can therefore wash off only the effects of particular sinful acts, comma, but not the tendency to commit them, comma. So long as ignorance, comma, their source, comma, persists, full stop. In bracket, this can be ultimately effaced, E-double-F-A-C-E-D, only by the knowledge of God, full stop. Now you will be writing verse 12, but before you write the verse 12, right, it says that expiations, prayaschit, atonement, confession. The scripture has given two things. Krutagne nasti niskruti. There are two words in Gujarati, Hindi, probably in Marathi also, but Gujarati, Hindi and Sanskrit. Krutagna and Krutagna. Okay? Krutagna, that if somebody has obliged me, somebody has done for me, which I remember, that is Krutagna. And another Krutagna, that somebody has obliged me, somebody has done good for me, somebody has loved me selflessly, somebody has served me selflessly, which I forget. That is Krutagna. And from the Krutagna, the word is Krutagni. So the in Sanskrit says Krutagne nasti niskruti. There is no atonement or confession or expiations for Krutagne. How can you forget? And it starts from Almighty. And you can start in our family or friend, or it can be anything. It can be anything. If somebody has done for us, one should not forget. And another thing that says about Tirthakshetre Krutam Papam Vajralepo Bhavishyati. You might be familiar with the word lep. Okay? Once upon a time, okay, you heard something and you apply turmeric and something lep, right? If the swelling is there, that is known as lep, right? Okay. Here it says Tirthakshetre Krutam Pap Vajralepo Bhavishyati. If you commit some pap in the Tirthakshetra, place of pilgrimage, okay, that lep non-washable. That pap, that pap, like that lap, there is one kind of lap that is known as Vajra lap. Vajra lap, that you can never remove. That you can never remove. You cannot remove. You cannot remove. So that pap will apply in your life. Okay, like a Vajra lap. Never be washed out. One cannot wash that, right? So this I wanted to share with you before we write. Okay, yeah, okay. Now you will be writing verse. Oh, sorry. One thing I forgot to tell you. Yeah. Now it says the knowledge of God. Only knowledge, and then I mean, in the definitely 13th chapter, verse is 12th, but verse can vary one this or that. Very clearly, Bhagwan has mentioned Adhyatma Gnana Nitvatam Agnanam Yatatonyatha. The knowledge which is related with God, that's the only knowledge. Rest all is Agnanam, ignorance, or in today's sweet quoted word you can say information. That can be information, but not the knowledge. That can be information, not the knowledge. Bhagwan has very clearly mentioned in 13th chapter. Okay, so that's why in the same context it has mentioned here. Okay, by the knowledge of God. Right. Now you'll be writing verse 12. A man who is on wholesome diet a man who is on a wholesome diet does not fall ill. Does not fall ill. Full stop. In the same way, comma, in the same way, comma, O king, comma, one who practices spiritual disciplines gradually attains purification. Gradually attains purification of mind and comma, through that, comma, the knowledge of God. The knowledge of God. Full stop. Okay. Please check the verse 12. A man who is on a wholesome diet does not fall ill. Full stop. In the same way, comma, O king, comma, one who practices spiritual disciplines gradually attains purification of mind, and, comma, through that, the knowledge of God. Okay. Before you write the next verse, here there is one word to be underlined. What it says, gradually. That verse tells or have the big message. Who practices spiritual discipline gradually attains purification of mind. Meaning, nothing overnight. If somebody is claiming that pay this much of amount and the path will be washed out, it's not going to happen. Very, very clearly mentioned here. Gradually. And same thing Bhagavan has told in Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. At least after 3 lives. Gnanavan Mam Prapadyate. Nothing. It's a process. You can't just expect anything to happen overnight. Right. You'll be writing the verse 13 now. By means of austerity, comma, celibacy, comma, control of the mind, comma, control of the senses, comma, charity, comma, practice of virtues like kindness, comma, truth, etc., comma, and of disciplines like japa. Japa means doing mala, okay? Or constant chanting of Bhagwan's name. And of disciplines like japa, comma, worship, etc., comma, a man of righteousness and faith, a man of righteousness and faith overcomes even great sins, overcomes even great sins committed by body, words and mind, comma, just as a fire destroys a grove of reeds, full stop. So, please check again. By means of austerity, comma, celibacy, comma, control of the mind, comma, control of the senses, comma, charity, comma, practice of virtues like kindness, comma, truth, etc., comma, and disciplines like japa, comma, worship, etc., a man of righteousness and faith overcomes even great sins committed by body, comma, words and mind, comma, just as a fire destroys a grove of reeds, full stop. Right. Okay. We need to understand another two things here in this verse specifically, right? By means of austerity, celibacy, control of mind, senses, charity. Okay. For the charity, Bhagwan has very clearly mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Diyate yaddanam nopakarene. When we give, when we donate, it should become my nature. I must give, I must donate because I want to do that. Not to put him or her down. And definitely not to be advertised. Definitely not to be advertised. That is considered as dan, the charity. Rest, yes, the same scripture has told, Kirtim Palaya. So if you want to do for your name, fame and glory, then you give your name. That's a different story. If you want to earn the name, fame and glory, nothing wrong in it. But that is not considered as dan, as per scripture's definition. Dan, that nobody should know. Why should I advertise? I just keep. Diyate yaddano karene. Not to put anybody down. Right? And then what next it says here? Which are the different way? One of them is, and of disciplines like japa, that we have been discussing in the Gita class also. And this particular chapter of the 6th canto is all about the Namasmaran. Will be soon, not today, approaching that story of Ajamil, how he overcome pap, just chanting the name of Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Anyway, so now we need to understand furthermore, okay, they describe in that conversation between Parikshit and Shukji, and very clearly they have discussed that there are some rare devotees, those only by practicing dharma, only by practicing devotion, total surrender, complete surrender, by practicing the path of devotion, okay, they can destroy all the pap. Then next it says, the person who is with full of pap, there are two ways for him or her for purification. Number one, complete complete surrender, total surrender in the lotus feet of Almighty. Or number 2, serve those devotees. Serve those devotees who are the devotees of God. So, here you have put equally importance for the Bhagwan and the devotees of Bhagwan. So, if you serve the devotees of Bhagwan, it is equally important, equally significant. That's what it says here. And furthermore, it says that if you serve the bhakta, if you serve the devotee, or if you completely surrender to Almighty's lotus feet, that purification is way above than the tap or any other practices. Far better. And that's why it says, in this world, the best path among all is the path of devotion. That's written in the Bhagwat, in the same chapter, in the 17th verse, which is full of self upliftment, well-being, and there is no fear on this path, because on this path of devotion there are the saintly people who have chosen this path, and those who have engaged their minds in the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, the Yamadut, the messenger of Yam, can never trouble them, even in dream. Even in dream. Okay? It doesn't mean that they don't get the death. Death is indispensable. But they have no fear of death. They have no fear of death. And in that context, Sukji says, O king, there is a story, and that story will be of Ajamil. But here we are going to stop. Still what we have discussed now you will be writing next week, okay? And then we will starting the story of Ajamil, okay? In today's discussion, whatever you enjoyed, whatever you like, credit goes to all the scripture, all the saintly men, okay? Whatever I have heard, I have studied, absolutely nothing belongs to me. Our main reference book for Bhagwat in English is Tapasyananji Swami from Ramakrishna order, and in Gujarati, Krishna Shankar Sastri Ji. Canto 10, chapter 10, verse 38. Vani gunanu kathane shravanau kathayam hastau cha karma sumanas tava padayornaha smrutyam shirastava nivasa jagat praname drashtihi satam darshanestu bhavat tanuna vasudevasutan devam कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. लक्ष्मीनारायण भगवान्